So, God bless you. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it. So, I've got a couple stories I want to share. One time I borrowed my car, and when I got it back, not knowing what words I can say and not say, but in the glove box was a Second Amendment piece of equipment. Let's just call it that. And another time I borrowed my car to someone. As I was backing out, I looked down, and on the floor was some illegal drugs. So imagine if I had been pulled over by the police, especially in the first one, how this could have turned into something completely horrific. And trying to explain, this isn't mine. I swear it's not mine. Oh, sure, we've heard that before, right? So let's go to Acts chapter 4. We see at the end of Acts 4 that the believers, they're praying for boldness. And then we see in Acts 4:34, now they're going to share their possessions. It says this: there was not a needy person among them, for as many as owned lands or houses sold them and brought the proceeds of what was sold. They laid it at the apostles' feet, and it was distributed to each as any had need. Then we get to Acts chapter 5, the story of a man named Ananias, his wife Sapphira. And you know the story, they sell this piece of property, but they agree they're going to say they're giving all the money, but they don't, and they keep some back. And so he lies, Ananias lies, so he falls down and he dies. And then the woman comes in later, the wife, Sapphira, same thing. Peter says to her, tell me whether you and your husband sold the land for such a price. She says, yes. Then Peter said to her, how is it that you have agreed together to put the Spirit of the Lord to the test? And then she ends up dying. So why am I telling you that story? Because Ananias and Sapphira, they were believers, but they didn't do the right thing. And so we need to be paying attention and have discernment, because sometimes believers don't do the right thing. The reason that I told you about the Second Amendment equipment and about the legal drugs is that in those cases, both of those times that I borrowed my vehicle, the people that borrowed it were believers. So imagine, this isn't just some random person that I met. These were two different individuals who had potentially could have put me in danger, in a lot of trouble had something happened. What if I had taken that car then to another state and there's issues with transportation into another state? You could see how in both instances this could have been a bad experience for me. So why am I sharing this, and why do we talk about a little bit summarized here the end of Acts 4 and Acts 5? Because as believers don't always do the right thing. And we can't so blindly believe that believers, especially if you're a new believer, that the believers are always doing the right thing, because they're not. And so for you, it's a great idea to always be listening to what God tells you, because God might tell you not to borrow your vehicle to a believer. Both instances, it turned out okay, but it could have been catastrophic in many, many, many ways. And so maybe we're always thinking, oh, that person is a believer, they would never make a decision that could harm me in a bad way, but it possibly could. And so whereas Ananias and Sapphira, they were believers because they wouldn't have been selling everything and giving the money to other believers, but they lied about it. And they put other people potentially, and in this case, it cost them their lives. So it's just something that I wanted to share with all of you today in our 5 minutes together. Just be mindful that sometimes believers aren't always going to do the right thing, and it could be catastrophic for you. So always be in prayer and always be seeking God's guidance for you on what to do. And sometimes the answer might be telling another believer no. Armor up, we ride at dawn. May God bless you as always. Have a great day.